Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 real faces behind famous icons. There are some icons and logos we all see every day and we know very well, but we may not assume that many of these people and cartoons actually have real faces behind them. So here are the mind-blowing backstories to all of the most famous things you see every day but don't think about. But before we get into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming up first, we have We Can Do It. You don't have to have grown up during World War II to recognize this poster. This poster is actually recognized worldwide, and it's a big cultural icon of World War II. During World War II, many men had to go away and fight in the battles. So it was up to the women to do the jobs that men were used to doing. Many women who had never had a job before suddenly had jobs working in factories and shipyards. This poster showed many things, including women power and feminism. The we was women, and it was showing that they can do jobs men can do just as well. This was actually a piece of American propaganda made during the war. It was made by Howard J. Miller, but who's the woman in the image? Her name in the poster is Rosie the Riveter. If you don't know, a rivet is a mechanical fastener used in factories. But the real woman behind Rosie is actually named Naomi Parker Fraley. Naomi was actually a worker in an American factory during the war. She never expected she'd have a job as she was a housewife up until the war. When all of the factory workers, including her husband, were sent away, she and other women had to take over that job. She was also selected to pose for this piece of wartime propaganda, but she never expected to become such an inspiration for so many women. And she's still used as an icon for feminism around the world to this day. Next up is Wendy's. If you live outside the USA, you may not know what Wendy's is, but any American knows that Wendy's is a burger joint famous for their square hamburgers. Wendy's was founded by an American businessman named Dave Thomas. He had 5 children, including his 4th child, Melinda Thomas. And it's actually his daughter Melinda who is the mascot for Wendy's. You probably wondered who the red-haired girl with the blue bows actually was. Well, it was the Wendy's creator's daughter. Today, Melinda is still involved with the Wendy's brand. In fact, she's a spokesperson for Wendy's. And if you go to the offices of Wendy's, you'll see a big portrait of Melinda. This portrait was used by the artist who made the Wendy's logo. I bet when she told her friends at school that she was the Wendy's girl, nobody believed her. Coming up next is Kinder. Let me take you back to your childhood for just one moment. No matter where you live in the world, I'm sure you ate Kinder chocolate when you were younger. And one thing that really caught everyone's attention on the Kinder chocolate box was what was known as the Kinder Boy. This boy smiled directly at you with his big, perfect white teeth. He was pictured on all of the Kinder chocolate boxes wearing an orange or blue polo shirt. But who actually is this kid? Well, the boy's name is Josh Bateson. Josh Bateson is from the UK and he's a child model and still is a model today. Today his Instagram account has over 100,000 followers. But he's not just a model, he also has a degree in international relations and politics. And if you're wondering, yep, he's still got super bright white teeth. Thanks for destroying those rumors about bad British teeth. Amazingly, despite him being printed on thousands of Kinder boxes, he only got paid a few $100s for the pictures. But I'd say it's still worth it to become the Kinder Boy. Next up is Uncle Sam. Love him or hate him, everyone knows Uncle Sam. Some say Uncle Sam is a great piece of morale-boosting propaganda during wars. And some complain that Uncle Sam wants to take all your tax money. But who actually is Uncle Sam, the man in the American hat pointing right at you? He is the personification of the US government and is a symbol of patriotism in the USA. You've probably seen posters, for example the I Want You for the US Army poster. But who is the man behind Uncle Sam? Well, the real person is actually a guy named Samuel Wilson. He was a meat packer from New York, not some kind of army general or government official. The original poster was made to recruit people for the US Army. But did you know the poster was actually a rip-off of a British wartime poster? 3 years before the Uncle Sam poster was made, a similar poster was made of Lord Kitchener. Lord Kitchener was a British Army official and colonel. The original poster had Lord Kitchener pointing at you, and the text read, "Britain, your country needs you." Next up is NBA. Basketball is one of the most popular sports in the USA, and nowadays even non-basketball fans wear merch with the NBA logo. It's an iconic logo of a basketball player in the colors red, white, and blue. But who is the figure in this icon? You may assume it's just a generic basketball player, but no, it's a guy named Jerry West. The NBA logo was designed by a man named Alan Siegel in 1969. When he was looking for inspiration on how to draw the silhouette icon, he found a picture of Jerry West. Jerry West is a basketball legend, and a photo of him taken by Wen Roberts was found by Alan. Alan then used this image of Jerry West as the inspiration for the NBA logo. Coming up next is Betty Boop. Betty Boop is famous all over the world. She's an animated cartoon character known for her big head and small dress. Now, she's a creation of a man named Max Fleischer. But who is the woman behind Betty Boop? Well, originally this was a caricature of a woman named Helen Kane. Helen Kane was a very famous American singer, and it seems she was not happy with her caricature at all. She actually filed a $250,000 lawsuit against Max and won. This was back in 1932, and that amount would be around $4.5 million today. But seeing as Betty Boop has likely made billions worldwide, I'm sure the animators don't mind. Next up is Ronald McDonald. Everyone knows the famous mascot for McDonald's. Maybe you loved him as a kid, or maybe he kind of creeped you out. Either way, despite him not being used much nowadays, he's still very famous. He's the clown with the red hair, white face, and yellow jacket. But who is this clown modeled after? Well, Ronald McDonald was actually created by an actor named Willard Scott. Willard Scott performed the role from 1963 to 1966. And he wrote in his book that he actually created the character of Ronald McDonald and therefore the look. Next up is MGM. Okay, so this one isn't a human face, but it is a face nonetheless. At the beginning of all MGM films, we see a lion roar. Now, you may assume this is all done by CGI, but no, it was made all the way back in 1928. Of course, back then, CGI did not exist as it does today, so they actually had to film a real-life lion named Jackie. Jackie not only appeared in the MGM logo, but in hundreds of movies. He starred in movies like Tarzan as a lion, of course. And it's also said that Jackie the lion is indestructible. The lion survived several accidents, including 2 train wrecks, an earthquake, and an explosion. And finally on our list we have KFC. Who doesn't love the taste of Kentucky Fried Chicken? And of course, whenever we enter a KFC, we're greeted by the friendly, smiling face of Colonel Kentucky. Well, Colonel Kentucky was not a military colonel. He was actually an American businessman who founded KFC. He was actually made into the Colonel of Kentucky, which is a government role. After that, he began to dress the part, wearing a goatee and a white suit. At first, he did this as a joke, but then he decided to carry it on in earnest. During the last 20 years of his life, he never wore anything else but his white suit and goatee beard. And it's quite possibly the best marketing stunt of all time, as he's been the company's logo since 1952. So those were the real faces behind famous everyday icons. Be sure to vote in the poll in the top right corner and tell me the most amazing story behind famous icons on this list. If you guys want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. There'll be a link to that on screen in a moment. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now, leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.